So I'm going to be drawing something a little different today. I don't usually do superheroes, but for some reason I thought I'm going to try and draw Wolverine. So what you see on the left there on a post-it is a quick sketch of Wolverine, which could be considered a thumbnail sketch. And I nailed down what I wanted the post to look like first. And as I copy it over in the center of the screen, I'm making little adjustments here and there, figuring out some of the anatomy and the perspective on him. Like here, his arm is coming more towards camera, so it's a perspective thing for shortening his upper arm so that his forearm and his fist are a little bit bigger than they are in the thumbnail. They're also a little bit further away from his head, from his face. And as I continue with the other arm, you'll see I made that in perspective going away from camera and moved his fist and his forearm up a little bit. And I'm keeping everything really rough because I don't need to nail down everything, every little detail at this blue sketch stage. The upper leg, his left leg, is severely foreshortened coming towards camera. And I want to exaggerate his right leg going away from camera. So I make his left leg really big towards us, come down to drawing in his foot on the ground, and again, more foreshortening of his foot. I put boots on him, and for some reason I put in the detail of his boot. Now let's start with the other leg that's away from us. And that leg is back. Here's the knee. And I outline. Well, then I decided I should put in the floor line so I know what I'm aiming for. And the perspective on the floor in light blue. This is a Col-Erase Light Blue pencil here. And so now I put his foot on there. And keep in mind, none of this is final. This is all just a blue sketch, like I said, with a light blue pencil. And now let's see, let's put in some of the detail of, not detail, but outline of his boot. Get the trunks in there just right. Now here, I'm putting in his pectoral muscles and top of the head, his jawline, and figuring out where his eyes are going to be. And his eyes, as usual, they're a little bit angry. So where's his nose? Right there. And angry mouth. So there I'm putting in the lower lip. Figuring out where his cheekbones are. And a little bit roundness on the top of the head there. Muscle on the top of the shoulder. Darkening in, even though it's light blue pencil, I can make it a little bit heavier. Pectoral muscle stretches back into his upper arm. trying making some volume on his arm. You can show that with the curvature of the glove that goes around his forearm. Now I'm putting in the fingers, and he wears these gloves, of course. The palm of the hand goes in there, and then the forearm. And on Wolverine, once you do that, then you have to figure out, well, where are his adamantium claws going to come from? A little more with the pectoral muscles there. So like I said, I'm just going over some of the outline parts, just darkening it with that same light blue pencil. I haven't changed pencils. It's tightening up and tying down stuff that I want to make sure I keep when I start doing the final drawing. Exaggerating the knee. Knees don't look like that, but these are the kind of knees I like to draw. Exaggerated, round, bulbous knees like Jack Kirby. When I was learning how to draw superheroes, that was who I copied mostly, was Jack Kirby, and then Jim Steranko and John Buscema, Gene Colan, John Romita. I really like Gil Kane's work, but I don't think I ever copied any of his comics. And then Neil Adams. When I met my friend Steve was a Neil Adams fanatic, and he could draw just like him at age 17. It was amazing. So I did like a few months copying Neil Adams. Hello, Kitty. Kitty always has to make sure that he's on top of my work or whatever I'm doing. Now I'm tying down the hands. And putting in the claws on that far hand. Come on, Kitty, give me a break here. Then I had to figure out, well, how do the knuckles and the claws work? I used to think that the claws came out of his knuckles right on the front, but it turns out they're recessed back on the back of his hand, and there are these 3 lumps on the back of his hand, and that's where the blades come out. And it seems every artist draws them differently, different thicknesses, different lengths. It just depends on which artist is doing it. And when I was looking up drawings of Wolverine, I found so many different guys have different interpretations. So I thought, well, this is my interpretation. I'm going back over the mask and making sure that conforms to what I did, a combination of what's in the comic and what's on the animated show, which my friend Larry Houston was one of the producers on that original X-Men show. And then he came back and worked on the updated, is it update or a reboot? The continuation show. I guess it's called X-Men 97. A little bit more detail on the side of the face there. A little bit more on the chest and figure out the pectoral muscle, not pecs. I already did those, but these stomach muscles here. Then there's an X logo on the belt. A little bit more detail on the hand and the wrist. Just keeping it, making sure it has some volume to it, keeping it round. And I'm adding wrinkles to the boot. I don't know that all the artists do that, but I'm doing it. Who am I going to hurt doing this drawing? I wasn't happy with how that foot was looking there, so I just took an eraser and went over it just to make it look a little bit different than what I had at first. So I'm doing all this tie down here in this part of the video and coming down to the end. In the next video, I will do the tie down with a soft lead pencil, and that'll be in black over top of this, but it's not like a final cleanup line because I think I'm going to ink it in another part. So on that one will just be dark pencil. And I like how this has turned out so far. And I'm gonna have to add the stripes to the sides. Apparently he's got these like tiger stripes on his side. And I couldn't quite see where they were, and I didn't pull out my dark blue pencil to do that, so I just use this green pencil for now. So this one is all blue, and we will see you next time when I tie it up.